We're now driving along Francis Bay Drive, and although there's no official record of where the name for the road comes from, it's believed that George Goyder, the original Surveyor General, named it after his wife Frances, the mother of his 9 children. Now, had he named streets after them, Darwin would be much larger. The area on the left is known locally as the Duck Pond, where fishing and pearling boats are moored. Ladies had said that the pristine waters of the South Sea provide the best pearls in the world, and Port Darwin is where they're brought into. Coming up on the left are the local fishmongers. If you're after a feed of some real territory seafood, this is the place to visit. After all, nothing beats a fresh local barramundi or mud crab. It's the food we're world famous for. Yum! The fishing company to our left, formerly Perkins Shipping, looks after the shipping of the goods to many remote areas and islands, including Dili in Timor. You may notice the black rubber wall running along the bottom of the wire fence. This is in place to stop the dreaded cane toads from entering the yard and boarding the boats. This works as long as they remember to shut the gate as well. To the left is another piece of Darwin's military history, the naval oil storage tanks. In 1936, the tanks were constructed here to hold marine standard heavy black furnace oil for the Navy fleet. During the bombing of Darwin, these tanks were targeted, but they survived, although 5 tanks received considerable damage. If you look at the base of the tanks, you can see Japanese bullet holes in the concrete. Other than these holes in the concrete, the tanks have been fully repaired and today are used for the Navy supply of diesel. Yet despite this, the tanks are still referred to as the oil storage tanks. As we continue to drive, we're now heading out to Stokes Hill Wharf. On the wharf itself, there are a number of fantastic eateries serving lunch and dinner, and before you board a harbour cruise, you might want to visit the Bombing of Darwin and Royal Flying Doctor Service Museum. The museum tells 2 iconic Northern Territory stories in one location. In fact, life-size holograms tell the stories as you experience virtual reality like never before. Also, you can climb inside a real Flying Doctor Service medical aircraft. If you want to experience this, then tickets for entry can be purchased from your driver. To the far left, you'll...
That's where we went to the India Marine. I don't know if you can remember that. Yeah, very good. That's where they had the water and all the column and things in the water.
Yeah, I love the place. I wish I could go there then.
It's really nice in there.
Yeah. And I think it was...
To the far left, you'll see large white fuel tanks, which form part of a large independent petroleum import and distribution terminal called Vopak. Just the other side of the tanks can be found the terminal for the GAN, one of the great trains of Australia, taking one of the great train journeys of the world. If we have any passengers on the bus today that are lucky enough to have come here on that fantastic train journey, I'd just like to offer a special welcome to you. A little further ahead in the distance you'll see East Arm Port, which was opened in 2000 and being able to accept vessels up to 80,000 tonnes. It immediately became a vital wharf for mining, bulk liquid and live export shipping. Behind East Arm Point is Blayton Point, where the Impex liquid gas project is situated. This 5-year, $34 billion project has changed the landscape and some say the economy of Darwin. Gas is piped in from fields up to 890 kilometres away and has cooled down to minus 161 degrees, which is where the natural gas becomes liquid in those big white tanks or eskies. As we get closer to our next stop, I'd like to tell you about Stokes Hill Wharf, which has a long history dating back to the early 1800s. having been used both for the arrival of European settlers, then by ships and flying boats during the war, when it became a target and was hit with the full force of Japanese bombings. Lastly, on a lighter note, if you think you recognise this area, well, it's from the movie Australia, which was filmed right here. Although the cattle didn't run on this wharf, that was a wharf double in Queensland. We'll soon be arriving at Stokes Hill Wharf. If you wish to enter the Bombing of Darwin Museum, tickets can be purchased from our driver.